When comedians sit around and discuss comedy, the name Groucho is mentioned with awe, respect, and great admiration.
This means I'm going to die of that.
You'll never have a nicer introduction to a funeral, I promise you. His legendary leer.
I want to hear what you say at the finish.
His legendary leer is caustic wit.
I'm sick of that word, legend.
I've established him as one of our most outrageous humorists. He makes Don Rickles look like the Flying Nun.
I don't think that wouldn't be an improvement.
His remarks bear witness to two of the funniest words in the English language. Ladies and gentlemen, Groucho Marx.
You're looking fine tonight. You're much taller than I thought you were. Friars and guest of honor, when I was asked to appear here tonight on the Kraft Music Hall to honor Johnny Carson, my immediate reaction was to give up my citizenship and move to Czechoslovakia. I thought they'd yell at that. Deadly silence came over Appomattox. Frankly, I cannot live in a country that will honor a man whose only claim to fame is that from the side he looks like Audrey Hepburn. I thought that it would be deathly silent. Shows you how you get fooled by a lousy speech. Don't worry, your time is coming. Actually, when you're commanded to appear at this kind of a turkey, you naturally feel privileged and honored, but in my case, it's ridiculous. I hardly know the man. He's a complete strangler. No, stranger. I'd have bet on that. He's a complete stranger and not even a close one at that. Sure, I've heard a few stories about Johnny Carson, but a man's private, sordid life is his own. Nevertheless, I have done some research on little Johnny. I went back to the scene of his childhood, Nebraska. Isn't that true? It's Nebraska? You keep shifting around the Middle West. I don't know where you're from. I went to Nebraska to talk to Johnny's mother. I'm happy to report she remembers Johnny. She doesn't remember his father. But she remembers Johnny. Then I called on his old high school teacher, and I asked her, what kind of a student was Johnny Carson? But she didn't remember Johnny. However, she did remember Johnny's father. You know, I try to watch Johnny. I tuned in 3 times. One time, Jerry Lewis was the host of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. The second time, Harry Belafonte was the host of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. The third time, I was the host of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. I've never known Johnny Carson to host The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. We're honoring a man who doesn't show up for work. He could be the mayor. Let me give you an idea of the friendship Johnny Carson and I have for each other. I was on Johnny Carson's very first Tonight Show 6 years ago. I'll never forget the first night I met him. And heaven knows I've tried. I was in my dressing room. At least that's what they said it was. It was the only dressing room I ever saw with 12 sinks. He rushed in, dropped some change in the machine, bought a comb, a nail clipper, got a squirt of perfume, and left. The last time I saw him was about 40 minutes ago. I had the same dressing room. 2 sinks had been removed. He came in and said, "Boy, am I glad you're here. The nail clipper doesn't work." Well, for your information, Mr. Carson, the perfume's worn off, too. Johnny, I've never asked a favor of you because, frankly, you're not the warmest person in the world, even in your underwear. But I'd like to ask you a favor anyway. Can you get me Hermione Gingell's phone number?